Good afternoon, Golden Valley. John Stutzman with the Park and Rec Department coming to you with another episode of our Home Wrecked program. Once again, Home Wrecked is a navigational guide to everyday recreation. And in these times, we're starting to get nicer out and we've been home for a little bit longer. I think it's even more important to find those leisure activities, especially if you can find those outdoor leisure activities that you enjoy. If you're like us here in the Park and Rec Department, clearly we love being outside. Clearly we love doing different things. And for me personally, I love being out on the boat. I love camping. And these activities actually take me to use a lot of rope and use a lot of different knots when I am doing these various activities. So today's home wrecked activity is going to be some basic knot tying techniques. We're going to start with probably one of the more basic ones, one you've probably all heard of, which is the square knot. And what the square knot is to join two pieces of rope together. That's the primary use for it. So I've got my two pieces of rope here. I'm going to take the one on top, which is the white one, and I'm going to loop it over the other rope, the darker rope, bring it up and under, forming a half knot, just like you normally do. This is just how same way you start your shoelaces. Then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take the white one and go over the darker one, and I'm going to make another half knot, and then I'm going to pull it tight. So if I bring this a little closer, you can see what the knot looks like. It's just joined together. It's going to be, the more knots you do, the more secure it's going to be. This is just two of them, a standard square knot. But again, if you're pulling on it, it's joining two together. If you're pulling on it this way, it's going to tighten everything together. So again, that is the basic square knot, just to attach a few ropes together. Next one we're going to look at as I untie this, which is, again, the beauty. The more knots you put in this, just like your shoes, the more problems you're going to have getting out. But as I'm untying this, the next one we're going to take a look at is one I use a ton for camping, and this is just the figure 8 knot. And what I use this primarily for is to make a loop, whether it's to tie a rope to put a shelter up, whether it's to get my bear bags up in a tree while I'm camping up in the boundary waters, whatever it may be. So basically what I want to do is I want to get a loop, I want to get a nice clean knot, and again, it's going to be exactly like what it sounds like as a figure 8 knot. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take my rope, I'm going to make a nice loop, and I'm going to hold the bottom of the loop. I'm going to take the loop itself, I'm going to wrap it around the bottom where the two parts join, and I'm just going to pull it back through this loop that I just made. And as the name says, I made a nice figure 8 in this knot. Very secure. I've got a nice loop. Again, there's a lot of different things I can do, whether it's take the rope back through to create a slack line for a boat. I can also attach a carabiner to this and make it even easier to attach to something else. So again, that's the figure 8 knot. So now we've talked about the figure 8, we've talked about the square knot, and I'm going to get up and actually go over to another part of my yard here in just a minute and show you guys a clove hitch, which is actually used to, again, attach the rope around a fixed object. So I will be back here in a few minutes. All right, now I'm going to show you that clove hitch that I just introduced a moment ago. So what I'm going to do is, again, the clove hitch is used to attach the rope to a firm object. In this case, it's a nice round pole here. So I'm going to take my rope, and this might be used well for camping and setting up a shelter, getting something to wrap around a tree, or getting your boat tied up to a dock, something like that. So I'm going to take my rope, I'm going to go over the bar here, bring it back underneath, bring it back up. I'm going to cross over this piece that I just wrapped around the bar. I'm going to go over that, get my hand out of the way so you can see that. I'm going to bring it back up. I am not going to cross it under the rope closest to me. I'm going to bring it back up, and then I'm going to take it right underneath itself, that loop that I just made over the other rope and the bar, and I'm going to pull that, and I'm going to pull the two pieces tight so it's there. If you're tying up a boat, I would recommend doing this more, or just tying it off with a nice square knot. I'm going to zoom in here really quick so you can see a little better here up close, because there's one key component here. As you look at this knot, you'll see that the two ropes here and here are going opposite directions, and that is how you know you have a successful clove hitch. So, thank you for tuning in to today's Home Wrecked. We talked about the square knot, a figure 8 knot, and a nice clove hitch knot, so that if you are out in the outdoors, whether it be camping, boating, rock climbing, whatever it may be, you've got a basic knowledge. These are also fun to practice at home. So we will see you tomorrow and look forward to then. Stay safe.